Welcome back. Well, the ANC's 54th National Conference to elect new leaders starts this weekend, where new leaders will be elected. The governing party has ordered delegates attending the conference to be very disciplined. Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa and MP Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma are the front runners to replace President Jacob Zuma. Let's now welcome political analyst on the line, Professor Prof Tefo, to give us some of his views and reactions to some of the stuff that has been, or developments that has been unfolding today. Prof, a very good afternoon to you. First, the elephant in the room, the nullification of PCs in 2 provinces, and a ruling that just came in now, the Free State Court ruling that just nullified the provincial conference along with all decisions taken there. Now we understand those delegates can't vote, but the party leadership is very adamant that the conference is still going ahead on Saturday. What are your views right now, Professor?
Yeah, look, it's so unfortunate, really, that it's almost a few hours before the conference could commence, and there are still activities outside conference that may impact on it. And I think they certainly are going to do that. Look, and the decisions taken by the court also speak to the challenges that the party is faced with, namely dealing with the concerns and the complaints of members expeditiously, impartially, and with integrity that would say, even if I've lost, I have trust in the process, therefore I can still embrace my organization or my party. And as things stand, all the indications are, in the main, the disgruntled, if I may call them that, where people from one faction, and that faction is being emboldened and strengthened because the numbers are likely to be in their favor.
All right, then, Prof, where to from here for the ruling party on Saturday? Because we are literally looking at the visuals right outside the Bloemfontein High Court. The ANC members that brought the case are jubilant. They are celebrating. Do you foresee this conference really going ahead amidst all of this?
I'm not sure. You see, the ideal would be that they proceed and then Jesus Christ at one stage when he was on the cross, he said, Cyril, let this cup pass, right? And I would say some of them, they just wish if this thing could just be done with once and for all. And that's what also my wish. But would it happen? My guess is as good as yours. Because, look, I said then, I'm saying even now, that the possibility is that there will be people on the floor who would say there are people who are in here who are not supposed to be
Absolutely.
Here. There are people outside who are supposed to be here. What are we dealing with it? Is it not the most prudent thing for me, the cost of the conference notwithstanding, would be, can we pause, take 3-4 months, go and clean everything, and elect a credible, at least, team just to deal with the concerns and try to make everybody reasonably happy and satisfied with process, work it internally outside the court? Or those that are still pending, let's deal with them, but preferably work it from within and then come back after 3 months.
But then, yes, Prof, but then what does that do to the 2019 campaign for national elections if they now have to go back and regroup and having to redo a whole national elective conference? I mean, isn't this going to be damaging for the party?
Well, I'm also contradicting myself here in a sense, because I'm one of those who said if you postpone, then you are playing into the hands of the opposition, because the longer you take, the more likely, right, that it will benefit the opposition, and the less time you would have to self-correct if indeed a new leadership is elected. But I'm still saying it might be an option to seriously consider, given that there will be somebody or some people on the ground who say there are people outside and there are people inside. How do we deal with that? And then you don't deal with that, somebody will quickly go for an interdict. Again, it will be more damaging. Very
damaging, Prof, because as we understand here, the judge has specifically said that the court order should have been, of course, effected in its entirety. So this means that the party in those provinces willfully actually did not implement the court orders.
Yes, I think whether willful or otherwise, by reading and my interpretation, although I listened to the judge, President speak, it was like, if you know that you have given 10 days to rerun and you don't rerun.
Yeah.
You allege that you reran, but you don't submit the documents
You're
or
in
the
contempt.
document are signed. And you say X was present and it is confirmed that X was not present, you don't dispute or rebut that. Yeah, as I was listening to the judgment there, at one point I said, where are we headed here? What are we really saying, right? But it has been concluded, let's say that. But I think, yes, to some extent, they didn't comply with the court order, and there is a price to pay because ignorance of the law is no excuse.
But
Contempt of the law is punishable indeed.
Prof, let's extend on that. I mean, these allegations of false or illegitimate members being voted in, and now the recent vote buying saga, how damaging are they to the credibility of this conference that kicks off on Saturday, Prof?
Alicia, it will affect that. And with due respect, Alicia, can you just give me a minute? I'm told I must leave this office, and then I will be live with you right now in less than 30 seconds. I'm just next door.
No problem. No problem, Professor. All right. Let's take a quick ad break. We'll be back with the Prof in no time.